Hey, it's April from LearnDoBecome.com. Today I'm sharing 5 tips for an organized life. These will be particularly helpful if you are balancing a family and personal and professional pursuits, and I'm hopeful that today's video will bring you some relief. We're here to help you out of the overwhelm to create simple systems so you can do what matters most. Number 1 is I spend just about 5 minutes each morning creating my day. I have a whole video explaining how I do it and what these symbols represent, but essentially I sit down, I look at the day ahead, and I think not only about my routines and tasks and projects and things like that, but I think about how I want to strengthen my physical health, my mental health, our relationships, and just thinking about it for a few minutes actually ends up making the day a lot more satisfying, things run a lot more smoothly, and often relationally, I'm able to make more connections rather than just focusing on the stuff that I need to do. So hopefully you can apply this and maybe watch the other video as well so that you can create your day. And instead of just letting the day happen to you, you get to go make the most important things your reality. Number 2 is to digitize as much as possible. I meet a lot of people who have piles of papers and just stuff, whether it's all over their desk or the perimeter of their bedroom or all over their kitchen counter or stuck to the fridge. And often these pieces of paper have pieces of information that they want to access at some point in the future. What I do is I put these into Evernote, and you could use another resource like OneNote or Google Drive or the other app of your choice. The idea is that when you can take a photo or a scan and then put it into an app that can be searched easily by keywords, especially the reason I love Evernote is because it has optical character recognition, which means if there's a word in the document, I can search for it, it'll scan and find that word, which is super helpful. So what I do recommend is when you have a piece of paper and you think, oh, I might need this someday, go ahead and scan it or take a photo, put it into an app that can help you find it later, and then you're going to find that your physical surfaces will be clear, your mind will feel more calm, you can find those things when you need them, and it just takes the pressure off overall. Number 3 is using the 2-minute rule. This is essentially the rule that if you can do something in 2 minutes or less, you just do it. You don't write it down or procrastinate. And this actually helps you to be able to build momentum and move forward and alleviate some of the pressure that often comes when you procrastinate something or you lay something on a flat surface. So it might be something like, oh, I owe someone some money, I'm just going to go ahead and Venmo them right away. Or, oh, I'm checking on a carpool for later this week, let me just send that text right now. Or somebody let me know that there's a conference coming up in a couple of months and they gave me the dates. Why don't I just go ahead and put that on my calendar so it's blocked out? When you can just apply the 2-minute rule, then you're going to be able to kind of finish that and then focus on it for just that moment. And then you can move on without carrying that weight in your mind that all these little things often contribute. Number 4 is to reset the room. Now, when I was growing up, I really had a problem with this, but I didn't know I had a problem. But there was one day where my mom said, April, come on out to the kitchen. So I walked out to the kitchen and she said, did you come in here a few minutes ago? And I said, yes. And she said, I think I can tell you exactly what you did. Well, first you walked over to this cupboard because I left the cupboard open. Then you went and you opened the bread and you left crumbs everywhere. Then you got out a knife and you just left it on the counter, and she showed me how the kitchen had been clean, but I had left a little trail with everything that I had done in the kitchen. So one of the things that's helped me in my own house and helped our children so that we can maintain order generally is that we have this rule where we reset the room. That means when you leave a room, you want it to look the way that it looked when you went in, or maybe even a little better. So we refold blankets if we got a bunch of blankets out. If you pulled out chairs in the dining room, you just push the chairs back in. If you finish eating something, you go ahead and just load the dishwasher with your, dirty plate or whatever. But as we learn how to just reset the room as we move through the house, then you find that you never have to do a major cleanup because it just kind of stays clean. And it really doesn't take that long as you go through, and it's a really great habit to create for yourself and for your family. My 5th organization hack is simply to build a step command central. This is what I have behind me, and then some of it is digital or in my paper planner. But the idea is that if you can take things out of your head and put them into a trusted system, it just changes the way that you move throughout your day. Most people that I speak with struggle with the same thing that I struggled with for a lot of years, where whenever I would talk to someone, I couldn't actually focus on what they were saying because my brain was spinning with things like, oh, I need to go run this errand, I need to make this phone call, I need to do these things. And all those little things would cycle in my brain. A lot of times I ask people, is there a little voice in your head that's constantly talking to you and reminding you of things that you need to do? And every time I ask someone that question, they say, are you in my head? Do you know my life? How did you know that that's what I'm living right now? You'll also know that you need a command central if you find that as you're trying to fall asleep at night, your brain is reminding you of the things that are important. And the thing is, it doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with you. It's very natural because that means that you're responsible, you're conscientious, you're trying to do a really good job, and you're managing a lot of different facets of life. So your brain is trying to protect you and keep you safe, and that makes sense. However, that's often really weighty and it feels draining and it might prevent you from sleeping or really connecting with people or really enjoying your life because you always feel like there's that next thing coming. So when you build a command central, which is organized into things you do daily, weekly, and as needed, it just frees up your mind and gives you the ability to be fully present, fully rested, and you have trust that anything that you do need to do is going to come to you at the appropriate time. Nothing's going to slip through the cracks and you won't forget anything. I've been teaching this for 15 years now because it literally has changed my life. And so if you want to learn more, we have a link in the description where you can participate in our free training. But I hope that all the things that we've talked about today can be helpful for you. Many of them you can apply right away. Just try it and see if it makes a difference and see if it helps you to feel a little lighter and a little bit more calm. The way that you'll know that these organization hacks are working is if when you apply them, you are breathing more deeply, you're feeling more confident, you're feeling a release of stress or pressure, and you start to actually be able to see a way out of the overwhelm. So everything that we teach here on our channel is designed to help you out of that feeling of dread or that feeling of drowning. I have worked with literally hundreds of thousands of people over the last decade, and what I've found is that most people are kind of drowning in some sense, but they don't know that there is an option to feel differently. And so I'm doing my best to try to help you to see that there are little things you can do and, major systems you can change and put into place so that your overall experience on a day-to-day basis is waking up excited, going to bed content, and really enjoying the process all the way through. Thanks for watching. We would love it if you could subscribe and like this video, comment, share it with friends. We want to help everyone to get out of the overwhelm. Have a great day.